welcome to Rachel's video. I'm currently working on my EAP final project and I am required to interview someone. So just now I sent several interview invitations to my target interviewees. And I suppose I will select an optimal one among them. So now let's just keep waiting for their reply.
2,000 years later. 3 days later.
I received 2 acceptance of the interview invitations. I asked him some questions and also did some academic research by myself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rachel's final project show for EAP course. Online video, the visual and social. My topic is urban government theory and vlogs. I will discuss this topic in the following parts. First, I will give a brief introduction to vlogs. After finding out the reasons for vlogs' popularity, we will move on to government theory and see how it can be used to analyze vlog. At last, we will talk about the identities in vlogs. Vlogs can also be called video blogs. Different from other kinds of media, where you text or speak behind the screen. Vloggers present themselves in this video. It is a form of video that includes a collection of words, images, and audio. In most cases, it displays the vlogger's daily life around 10 minutes. What's more, vlogs are usually well edited and beautified. Let's see how they are presented and try to find out the aesthetic traces in these videos. If you enter vlog on YouTube, you can see that most of them have elaborate covers to attract audience. Click in and see what happens. In this video, the vlogger, Dear Nessie, stitched fragments of her daily life together and select pleasant background music that fits her topic. Look at the camera position. What you see in this video is exactly from the vlogger's perspective. And here.
Just arrived at KU station and I'm off to meet my friend Alina. We're gonna go grab something to eat before heading off to class.
The vlogger is looking at the camera and speaks something, as if you are her intimate friend and she is just speaking to you. These aesthetic choices not only beautify videos, but more importantly, they help attract audience and boost vlogs' popularity. Speaking of vlogs' popularity, let's move on to the second part. The popularization of digital device provides anyone with an easy access to make videos. Therefore, it's not surprising that more and more people are becoming vloggers. From my perspective, vlogs' popularity is not only because of the technical advance, but also it has something to do with people's psychology. For example, as viewers, after watching others' vlogs, I feel inspired to make my own vlogs. For vloggers, the satisfaction they get from the comments and view amounts may motivate them to produce more vlogs. To go deep into this question, I asked Jiannan, a journalist in sociology.
This kind of interaction between the vloggers and the commenters, I would say, if I could term it in a sociological term, they formed like mutual reciprocity, or a mutual kind of help that we have to each other. And what this mutual reciprocity connotates is what sociological theories call social capital. So social capital is a really interesting thing. What does it mean? So social capital, first of all, it's a capital. What is a capital here? I would term it like the resources, which are not only limited to the material resources, but also psychological or economical kind of things that you can get by people's interaction. And most of the time, the interactions are going towards a common good.
Also, Jiannan reminds me that what has been changed is actually the way we express ourselves.
I think the one of the most or fundamental reason that makes this happen is technological change. The fact that we're always sharing ourselves hasn't been changed for like forever since from the time when paper and pen comes out. The thing or the fact of like showing ourselves have already been existing. And throughout these years, transforming from the paper and pen communications to the keyboard and screen communications to the current like video streaming, something like that. What hasn't been changed like forever is the fact that we love to like, show ourselves.
Therefore, if I lived 100 years ago, I may ask, what leads to biography's popularity? The reasons for vlogs' popularity can be considered in two aspects. The first one is technical change. The embedded camera in our phones make it easier to make videos. As Jiannan said, we always want to express ourselves, but the way we express ourselves has changed, from paper and pen to make videos like vlogs. The second reason is more subjective. The positive feedback for vloggers and the conformity for audiences together form mutual reciprocity. In this way, vloggers become prosumers who consume others' vlogs but at the same time also produce their own vlogs. Furthermore, as the author of YouTube and video exchange writes, YouTube community prizes this participation, the creation and exchange of amateur and professional videos alike, as it fosters a society-wide participatory culture. Therefore, such participatory interaction builds social capital between viewers and bloggers, and leads them to the common good that keeps vlogging active. Erving Goffman is a famous sociologist. In his book, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life, he applies dramaturgical analysis to people's daily interactions and puts forward the theory of self-presentation.
The sociologist Erving Goffman took these lines from As You Like It very seriously. In his dramaturgical account of human interaction, he argued that we display a series of masks to others, enacting roles, controlling and staging how we appear, ever concerned with how we are coming across, constantly trying to set ourselves in the best light.
Goffman's self-presentation theory was first applied to the face-to-face communication, but since the online environment becomes more and more similar to the reality, this theory can also apply to vlog. In the dramaturgical theory, private living space is a non-performance place that the audience cannot enter. In other words, backstage. Vlog, as a stage where the video makers display their daily routines and interests, is front stage. Each public vlog is like an ongoing drama, presenting a variety of scenarios. This leads to the blurring boundary between backstage and front stage. Private content in the backstage area, such as having fun with friends, studying before exams, and so on, come up to the front stage. The tools that we use to make ourselves presentable on the front stage and to look appealing is called impression management. And impression management is our attempt to control how others view us. It is easy to understand because we want to be viewed in a positive way by those around us. An example of this impression management theory is that suppose you are playing an important soccer game with college recruiters watching. Without a doubt, you would try and perform your best to show off your skills. Your main goal may not be to win the game, but instead to impress the recruiters so that your chance of being chosen for a college team increases. Taking the celebrities' blogs as an example, public holds a general opinion that celebrities' daily life is a secret backstage behavior. However, vlog presents celebrities' daily life to the public, which greatly satisfies audience curiosity about celebrities' daily life, and it also closes the distance between the audience and the celebrities. According to the audience, they believe the behavior of celebrity in their daily life is unconscious, which means celebrities in their vlog show their most real appearance. But it is far from the truth. In fact, vloggers act in a way that disguises front stage as backstage, causing the audience to mistake what is presented in vlog for what is their real daily life. In this way, impression management purpose has been achieved. Vloggers successfully built an identity to make others feel that you are a certain kind of people, to show that you lead a good life. Through the interview, Jiannan also brings me some inspirations. He said,
There must be something between the front stage and the backstage. Like, how should I transform my identity from the backstage where, I'm barely prepared to the front stage where I need to be energetically perform to every audience that I imagine. This very middle stage is what government calls as liminal stage. Like, this is the process or the procedure where my identity is transitional, is temporary. Like, I'm neither someone who's preparing nor someone who's performing. For example, you and I, we formed such a relationship via interview or the previous email WeChat conversations. And my role here is a journalist, and I'm someone you turn to for your interview project. But one day, if we meet in a supermarket, that, wow, this is someone I talked to or I interviewed with. How should you define my identity? Am I still someone who's a journalist and who provides you insights with a background or something like that? Or I'm just an ordinary person, wandering the supermarket. So at this time, should we make greetings to each other? How should you call me? Or should I call you? This is somewhere when identity is transitional.
Irving Goffman's self-presentation theory includes 2 points. The first one is a concept of backstage and frontstage, the boundary between which is blurred in vlogs. Also, Jiannan mentions there is a liminal stage between backstage and frontstage. The second concept is impression management, which can be seen from others' vlogs and daily interaction with others. It means you present in a way that you will like others to view. In this peer-reviewed article, the author uses Goffman's theory as a basis to analyze the self-presentation on online social networking sites. He claims that the failure to meet in time and space on online platforms leads to the missing context of a particular video or text. Apply what he said to blogging. It's difficult for audience to judge a vlogger in a holistic way because the judgment is only based on what audience see and hear. In other words, what the vlogger presents. Additionally, Goffman points out the individual does intentionally convey misinformation by involving deceit or feigning. By saying this, the vlogger don't present themselves in a real way, and consequently, it's easy for them to build an identity online to please their audience. After reading some academic resources that focus on the issue of real identity, I'm curious about Jiannan's opinion toward real identity in blogging. You mentioned bloggers, they present themselves in a genuine way or they are just perform, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean the identities they build are not necessarily their real identities?
Well, I will question you here, like, what is the real identity here? Like, for example, I'm sitting here, and you're doing an interview with me. Am I performing my real identity? What is my real identity? Who knows it?
Jiannan's reaction was really out of my expectation, but in the meanwhile, his response reminded me to look back on Goffman's theory.
In his dramaturgical account of human interaction, he argued that we display a series of masks to others.
According to Goffman, everyone is wearing a mask in the daily interaction with others. But what's under the mask? Does reality lie under our mask? So it leads me to further dig into Goffman's opinion on the real identity, or we say the real self. And I found this.
In his view, there is no true self, no identifiable performer behind the roles. The roles just are the performer.
As the author mentions, the biggest difference for the audience of online video is that they lack a particular context, which means they have no idea of the background information of the videos. Therefore, it's easier for them to believe what the vlogger, or in a broader sense, the video makers present to them. Now you are watching this video, and you see me dressed formally. So you tend to think I am making this presentation seriously. However, what is out of this video? You will never know that I am making this presentation with my pajama. Then you may argue that I must be showing the real self when I'm in faucet of my pajama, because in this status, I will casually, with my arms crossed, so I'm relaxed. And this must be my real identity. But in fact, I'm a little bit nervous, because even though I wear pajama, I'm still making video presentations that will be recorded, which means if I fail to do good enough this time, then I have to record this clip again and again. So indeed, I'm not relaxed at all. Now we are coming to an end, and I would like to make a brief conclusion. Around the topic Erving Goffman's theory and vlogging, we first give a simple analysis of vlog's features, including its content, form, and aesthetics. Then we talk about the reasons for vlog's popularity, which can be considered in the perspective of technical reasons and people's psychological change. These two subtopics serve as a basis for the connection between Erving Goffman's theory. So now we bring up Erving Goffman and his theory, whose two important concepts are the first one, the difference between backstage and frontstage, and the second one, impression management. Based on Goffman's self-presentation theory, we know that everyone is wearing a mask, and we want to put ourselves in the best light. We are performing all the time. Therefore, finally, we move on to the issue of real identities in vlogging. According to Goffman's opinion, there is no true self. So now, recall the question, what's under the mask? Goffman said, under the mask is another mask. I also want to share my personal feelings about this project at the end. The reason why I choose this topic is that I'm also a vlogger, and I received several positive feedback after I released several videos. Many of the audience thought my life was wonderful, which really surprises me. Therefore, I found it interesting to explore the reasons behind such phenomenon. During my research, I found Erving Goffman's theory can really fit into this final project, and I also got some insightful ideas from my interview. Looking back on these several weeks, editing videos and organizing a project is really labor-intensive. However, a sense of achievement arises when I finally finished it. Thanks for listening to my presentation. Anyway, it's a meaningful project.